Have you ever paused to question why an act of kindness, so pure in its intention, often meets a fate so undeserved, dismissal, exploitation, or even outright disrespect? Perhaps you've extended a helping hand to someone in need, sacrificing your time and energy, only to find your efforts met with silence, indifference, or worse, a sense of entitlement. These moments don't just sting. They challenge the very fabric of our character. They force us to confront an unsettling question. Is my kindness a mistake? But let me assure you, the fault does not lie in kindness itself. Kindness, in its truest form, is one of the most profound expressions of human strength. The real issue lies in how and where we channel it. Without discernment, kindness can become a double-edged sword, an offering that diminishes its giver instead of elevating them. Stoicism, a philosophy born in the ancient schools of Greece and Rome, teaches us that kindness is not weakness but a deliberate act of courage and wisdom. Guided by self-awareness, it becomes a reflection of our inner values, not an obligation to meet the demands of others. Yet, when kindness is extended without boundaries, it risks being misconstrued as submission, eroding the respect it deserves. This is not just an abstract philosophical idea. It is a timeless lesson deeply relevant in our modern world. What I share with you today is drawn from the wellspring of Stoic wisdom and personal experience. Together, we will uncover how to practice kindness in a way that not only preserves your dignity but transforms it into a source of strength. Let us embark on this journey, one that challenges conventional notions of kindness and replaces them with a path of wisdom, balance, and unshakable self-respect. This is not about withholding kindness but wielding it with intention, ensuring it becomes a tool for growth, connection, and empowerment, not a gateway to exploitation. Take a moment to center yourself and approach this message with an open heart. What follows is not just guidance but an invitation to rethink how you practice kindness, align it with your values, and reclaim it as a powerful force in your life. 1. Why kindness can lead to disrespect. Kindness, in its purest form, is a noble act, an offering of goodwill that speaks to the best parts of our humanity. Yet, in a world governed by complex social dynamics and unspoken expectations, it can paradoxically lead to the very opposite of what it intends: disregard, exploitation, or even disdain. This disheartening reality is not a flaw in kindness itself, but in how it is perceived and practiced. Stoicism, with its timeless wisdom, illuminates this paradox by teaching us that kindness without boundaries often undermines the very respect it seeks to foster. Human beings are instinctively wired to test limits and observe patterns. When we extend kindness repeatedly without clear expectations or boundaries, we unintentionally teach others that our generosity is inexhaustible and comes without the need for acknowledgement or reciprocity. This doesn't necessarily stem from malice. Rather, it reflects an innate tendency to seek equilibrium in relationships, an unspoken balance between giving and receiving. Without this balance, kindness risks being viewed as an obligation rather than a gift, eroding the value it holds in the eyes of others. Imagine someone who constantly agrees to help a friend, even at personal cost. At first, their efforts may be met with gratitude, but over time, the friend may begin to assume this assistance is guaranteed. When that day inevitably comes, and the giver refuses due to their own limitations, the reaction is often disappointment or even resentment. This response underscores a painful truth. Kindness, when offered without discernment, can diminish self-worth and blur the boundaries necessary for mutual respect. The Stoics remind us that respect is not something we can demand or expect from others. It must originate from within. Marcus Aurelius profoundly stated, "Respect yourself, and others will respect you." This wisdom emphasizes that how we value ourselves sets the tone for how others perceive and treat us. Kindness, when rooted in wisdom and self-respect, becomes a deliberate act of strength rather than an unguarded vulnerability. If we give without reflection, kindness risks becoming a silent sacrifice, a gesture drained of its meaning. Stoicism teaches us that true generosity is not about pleasing others or avoiding conflict. It is about aligning our actions with our core values. Boundaries, far from being barriers, serve as guiding frameworks that protect kindness and allow it to thrive. They preserve the dignity of both the giver and the receiver, fostering relationships built on mutual appreciation and respect. By embracing these lessons, we can transform kindness from a misunderstood vulnerability into a powerful force that enriches our lives and strengthens our connections. True kindness, guided by wisdom and reinforced by boundaries, is not only an expression of goodwill, but also a profound declaration of self-respect. 2. The balance between kindness and pleasing everyone. Kindness, when pure and intentional, is a reflection of inner strength and a commitment to values. However, there is a delicate yet profound distinction between true kindness and the act of pleasing others, a distinction that often determines whether our kindness is valued or taken for granted. Stoicism teaches us that kindness, to remain genuine and impactful, must not be driven by the fear of rejection or the desire to be liked. Instead, it must arise from a place of self-assurance, wisdom, and clarity of purpose. Imagine the scenario of an individual in a workplace who consistently offers their time and energy to assist colleagues, even at the expense of their own priorities. At first, their efforts are met with gratitude, but over time, this consistent generosity becomes an expectation. When they finally decline a request, they are met not with understanding, but with disappointment or criticism. This shift highlights a harsh reality. When kindness lacks boundaries, it often transitions from a gift to a duty, and from a virtue to a source of exhaustion. Stoicism sheds light on why this happens. The philosophy emphasizes that genuine kindness must stem from intention, not obligation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Do every act of your life as though it were the last." This insight encourages us to act with purpose, ensuring that our kindness is both deliberate and meaningful, rather than reactive or compelled by external pressures. When kindness becomes a tool to avoid discomfort or maintain appearances, it loses its essence, reducing the giver to a state of emotional vulnerability and exhaustion. The act of constantly striving to please others is not kindness. It is self-neglect masquerading as generosity. When we prioritize the approval of others over our own well-being, we compromise our values and undermine the authenticity of our actions. This not only diminishes our energy, but also creates an environment where others may view our kindness as limitless, leading to unbalanced and unsustainable relationships. True kindness, as the Stoics teach, requires discernment and intentionality. It involves giving with clarity, setting boundaries that protect both the giver and the receiver. By doing so, we ensure that our kindness is not only appreciated but also respected. This balance is key to preserving our dignity and fostering meaningful connections with those around us. In the pursuit of living a virtuous life, we must ask ourselves, am I being kind because I choose to, or because I fear the consequences of saying no? This question serves as a compass, guiding us toward a form of kindness that is both sincere and sustainable. When kindness is balanced with self-respect and wisdom, it becomes a source of strength, allowing us to build relationships rooted in mutual respect and understanding, rather than obligation or dependency. 3. Setting boundaries without losing kindness. Boundaries are often misunderstood as barriers that distance us from others, but in truth, they are bridges that uphold the integrity of our relationships. For kindness to retain its value and purpose, it must be safeguarded by clear boundaries that protect both the giver and the receiver. Stoicism, with its emphasis on self-awareness and rationality, teaches us that true kindness does not require endless sacrifice. Instead, it flourishes within the framework of balance, where generosity is tempered with discernment and compassion is paired with self-respect. Consider a parent who, out of love, says yes to every demand from their child. At first, their willingness to accommodate is met with gratitude, but over time, it becomes an unspoken expectation. The child begins to assume that their parent's time, energy, and support are limitless. When the parent finally sets a boundary, the response may be disappointment, frustration, or even resentment. This moment reveals an essential truth. Kindness without limit ceases to be an intentional act of goodwill and becomes a liability, both for the giver and the receiver. The Stoics remind us that boundaries are not acts of selfishness, but of wisdom. Seneca, a prominent Stoic thinker, wrote, "No man can live a happy life, or even a supportable life, without the study of wisdom." Wisdom, in this context, involves recognizing our limitations and ensuring that our actions align with our values. Boundaries, when set with kindness and clarity, communicate that our time and energy are precious resources, not to be taken for granted but shared thoughtfully and intentionally. Imagine a colleague who frequently asks for help with their workload. Saying yes repeatedly might seem like the kind thing to do, but over time, this pattern can lead to imbalance and exploitation. By learning to say no firmly yet respectfully, you teach them to value your time, and perhaps even empower them to find their own solutions. This act of boundary setting is not a rejection of kindness but an affirmation of its true purpose, to uplift and inspire growth, not to enable dependency or entitlement. Stoicism teaches us that setting boundaries enhances the value of our kindness. It ensures that our generosity remains authentic and prevents us from feeling drained or resentful. More importantly, it fosters mutual respect in relationships by creating space for others to recognize and appreciate the significance of what we offer. Boundaries are not walls that isolate us, but frameworks that protect the purity and intention of our kindness, allowing it to thrive as a force for good in our lives and the lives of those around us. In practicing kindness with boundaries, we honor not only the needs of others, but also our own. This balance is the foundation of meaningful and sustainable relationships, relationships where kindness is cherished and respect is mutual. As the Stoics remind us, true strength lies not in how much we give, but in the wisdom of how and why we give. 4. Turning kindness into a source of inner strength. Kindness, in its truest form, is not simply an action but a reflection of the soul, a manifestation of our deepest values and a vehicle for connection. Yet, in a world where inattention, ingratitude, and even exploitation can often follow even the most selfless acts, the Stoic philosophy teaches us that the key to maintaining the integrity of our kindness lies in its source, our inner strength. When kindness arises from deep self-awareness, conviction, and a commitment to living in alignment with our principles, it becomes a force that nourishes both ourselves and others, no matter how it is received. The Stoics, particularly figures like Marcus Aurelius, repeatedly emphasized the importance of living a life grounded in personal ethics and integrity. Aurelius' guidance to waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be one, speaks directly to the transformative power of embodying virtues like kindness from a place of unshakable conviction. This kind of kindness does not rely on validation or praise from others, for it is rooted in a deeper understanding of what is good and right. In this way, kindness ceases to be a means of gaining approval or acknowledgement, and instead becomes a manifestation of inner strength and personal integrity. When kindness is practiced from a place of genuine self-respect, it transcends the need for reciprocation. It is no longer an exchange, nor is it subject to the whims of others. Rather, it becomes an affirmation of one's character, an enduring expression of who we are, regardless of external circumstances. Consider a situation where we give to others, whether in the form of time, energy, or resources, but our efforts go unappreciated or even exploited. The pain of such moments lies not in the loss of acknowledgement, but in the fleeting feeling that our kindness has been wasted. However, this is only the case if our kindness is contingent upon recognition. When our actions are guided by a profound sense of self-worth and inner purpose, we become impervious to the sting of ingratitude. This shift in perspective is pivotal in the Stoic approach to life. Stoicism teaches that when we are grounded in our values, we do not seek external validation because we have already affirmed our worth internally. In the face of ingratitude or exploitation, we remain steadfast, knowing that our kindness is an expression of strength, not a commodity to be bartered. Seneca reminds us that no man is free who is not master of himself. When we give from this place of mastery over our emotions and self-worth, we liberate ourselves from the chains of external expectations and open ourselves to deeper, more authentic connections with others. Moreover, kindness rooted in inner strength has the power to inspire others. It sets a powerful example, encouraging others to act with integrity, just as we do. This is not a kindness that fosters dependency or indulgence, but one that builds resilience and mutual respect. When we extend kindness with clarity and without the expectation of return, we offer the gift of empowerment, showing others how to live with strength, dignity, and self-respect. In this way, our acts of kindness not only strengthen our own character, but also provide the foundation for others to cultivate the same qualities within themselves. True kindness, then, is not an act of self-sacrifice, but an affirmation of self-worth. It is a powerful tool for maintaining personal strength and integrity, and a means by which we connect with others from a place of mutual respect and understanding. It is a deliberate choice to live in accordance with our values, regardless of how our kindness is received, and when practiced with wisdom, it becomes an indomitable source of inner power. As we embrace this Stoic approach to kindness, we transform not only our relationships but our very understanding of what it means to live a virtuous and fulfilled life. 5. Practical steps to practice Stoic kindness. Kindness, when guided by wisdom and purpose, has the potential to become one of the most profound expressions of our humanity. However, to ensure that our kindness remains a source of strength and integrity, we must learn to approach it with intentionality and self-awareness. Stoicism provides practical steps to transform kindness into a deliberate act of virtue, balancing compassion for others with respect for ourselves. These steps are not about limiting kindness, but about giving it depth and meaning, ensuring it enriches both the giver and the receiver. The first step is self-awareness, a cornerstone of Stoic practice. Before extending kindness, take a moment to ask yourself, why am I doing this? Are you acting out of a genuine desire to help, or are you motivated by the fear of disappointing someone? This pause for reflection allows you to align your actions with your values, ensuring that your kindness is an authentic expression of who you are. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, if it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. This clarity of purpose transforms kindness into a conscious choice rather than a reflexive response to external pressures. Next, establish boundaries. True kindness flourishes within the framework of clear limits. Boundaries protect your emotional and physical well-being while enhancing the value of your kindness in the eyes of others. Communicating these boundaries does not diminish your generosity. It ensures that your actions are sustainable and respected. For example, instead of always saying yes to requests, practice saying, "I would love to help, but I cannot take this on right now." This approach preserves your energy and sets a precedent that your time and efforts are not infinite commodities, but intentional gifts. Another key practice is to empower others through kindness. Helping someone does not mean solving all their problems for them. Instead, offer guidance, encouragement, or tools that allow them to grow and overcome challenges independently. This kind of kindness builds resilience rather than dependency. Seneca captured this beautifully when he wrote, "The greatest wealth is to live content with little, for there is never want where the mind is satisfied. By empowering others, your kindness becomes a force that fosters growth and mutual respect, rather than creating imbalances in relationships. Additionally, cultivate the courage to say no when necessary. In Stoic thought, saying no is not a rejection of kindness but a reinforcement of your values. Refusing a request that conflicts with your principles or capacity is an act of integrity, not selfishness. Consider a situation where you are asked to take on extra work at the expense of your personal responsibilities. Politely declining allows you to honor your commitments and maintain balance in your life. In doing so, you demonstrate that your kindness is guided by reason, not by a need to avoid confrontation or seek approval. Finally, practice gratitude for your own kindness. Often, we focus so much on how others respond to our actions that we forget to appreciate the strength and intention behind our own efforts. Reflect on the moments where your kindness has aligned with your values, brought joy, or created meaningful connections. Recognize that these acts, regardless of external acknowledgement, are a testament to your character. By valuing your kindness internally, you free it from the constraints of validation, allowing it to remain an unshakable part of your identity. In following these steps, you cultivate a kindness that is deeply rooted in Stoic principles, intentional, balanced, and aligned with your core values. This approach not only protects your well-being but also ensures that your kindness becomes a source of empowerment and mutual respect in every interaction. True kindness, practiced with wisdom and clarity, transcends fleeting emotions and external expectations, becoming a transformative force that enriches both your life and the lives of those around you. Conclusion: kindness, when practiced with intention and guided by wisdom, is not a sign of weakness but a profound expression of strength and self-respect. It is a reflection of our values, a conscious choice that transcends fleeting emotions or external validation. In the teachings of Stoicism, we learn that true kindness must be balanced with discernment and boundaries, ensuring it enriches both our lives and the lives of those we touch. In a world that often misunderstands or takes advantage of kindness, let us remember that its worth is not defined by how others respond but by the integrity with which we give. When kindness is rooted in self-awareness and aligned with our principles, it becomes a force of empowerment, a gift that fosters growth, connection, and mutual respect. As you reflect on the lessons shared today, I encourage you to carry these insights into your own life. Ask yourself, how can my kindness align with my values? How can I balance compassion with boundaries? How can I make kindness a source of inner strength rather than a cause of exhaustion? These questions are not just philosophical exercises. They are tools for transformation, helping you navigate the complexities of relationships with clarity and confidence. If this message has resonated with you, if it has offered you a fresh perspective or inspired you to rethink how you practice kindness, I invite you to take the next step. Share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Your journey is unique, and your voice could inspire someone else on a similar path. Finally, if you found value in this discussion, consider subscribing to this channel. By doing so, you join a growing community of individuals who are passionate about Stoicism, self-improvement, and the pursuit of a meaningful life. Together, we can continue to explore these timeless lessons, share insights, and grow in wisdom and strength. Let your kindness shine, not as a fleeting gesture, but as a lasting testament to your character. Remember, the world needs more of the light you bring, light that is both intentional and unwavering. Thank you for being here today, and I look forward to seeing you in our next journey toward a life guided by virtue, wisdom, and resilience.